Lost on a Deserted Island. Author, Agamora. Crossdress Small World, Part 3, Meet Lyra again. I woke up early in the morning. I went through a deep sleep because of a long and exhausting day, but I woke up very early, probably from a state of insecurity. But I don't think this is a bad habit. I don't know if I can leave this deserted island, but I still want to change myself. I didn't want to change before because I was used to living in joy, someone else taking care of me from food to clothing. So, even though I don't feel worthy of Lyra, I still just want to be such a useless rich man. But the situation has changed at the moment. Lyra instilled in me the desire to survive. I don't know if she's safe, but I still want to see her again. I want to change to be worthy of being her husband. Although I am a useless rich man, I am not an ignorant, uneducated man. On the contrary, the absolute form of education of wealthy families far exceeds the average person. From a young age, I was taught to read a lot of books. At school for the children of the nobility, I always got a high ranking. As you can imagine, I am a guy who is strong in theory but lacks practical skills. I was surrounded at a young age by my family, so my life skills were severely lacking, but it's not like I'm completely ignorant of it. If I didn't have any knowledge of life skills, I wouldn't have thought about setting up a tent and setting a fire last night. So, I believe, I can totally change. The tent was ugly and only patchwork, but in reality, it still helped me through a cold night. Now it's morning, but I'm still a little scared to go into the forest on the island, but this is something I have to do if I want to get food. Fortunately, the forest on the island has only a few small animals, no carnivore. At least that's what I see. I used to go through many methods of hunting in the book, but when it came time to practice, I knew how difficult it was. I had to give up after a few hours of hopeless practice. To prevent hunger, I can only eat wild berries in front of my eyes. At the very least, I can tell which fruit can be eaten, which can't be eaten. Struggling all day to find something to eat, just rolling my eyes a little, the sky gradually fell dark. Today I was able to enter the forest, so I was able to build a sturdy tent thanks to some wood in the forest. However, it is still terribly ugly. There's nothing more I can do. I've never laid a hand on any of this before. The clothes I wore yesterday were also dry, but to be honest, I don't want to change them at all. I spent a day and a night in Lyra's clothes. The comfort of women's clothing makes me not want to go back to men's clothing at all. I know it's kind of weird to say this, and maybe I don't have the chance to wear them anymore, so the longer I want to wear them, the longer I can. Even with the bra and pantyhose, I don't want to take them off. The night fell again on the island. I didn't feel the same anxiety or fear as last night, but instead, I started feeling lonely. The stillness of the night always evokes a lot of thoughts in our head. I felt alone not because I was alone in this place, but because I realized the fragile friendship between me and the two friends I once thought was the best. What if I could just leave this island and come home? I'm still a loner. I suddenly thought of Lyra, my future wife. I probably fell in love with her the moment she risked her life to save me. But I know she has absolutely no feelings for me. She looks down on a useless rich guy like me. I know she saved me only because of her kindness. Thinking about it, I don't want to go home as intensely as before. Wherever I am, I'm a loner. Life on a deserted island is very difficult. I can die any moment. But so what? At least, I can do what I want here. If I'm not lost on a deserted island, can I live on purpose? If I'm not lost on a deserted island, I don't know how pleasant women's clothes is. And if I'm not lost on a deserted island, how can I know I've fallen in love? Dying is not something I'm too concerned about, But I want to see Lyra before I die. Even if I have 1 minute with her again, I still want to be her husband. Thinking until midnight, I fell asleep again. The next morning, I repeated what I did yesterday. When I picked up some wild berries from the forest and went back to the tent, I found out that something was drifting ashore from the sea. When I looked back, I was startled to find that it was Lyra. She's unconscious hugging a travel suitcase. I didn't think much, but immediately rushed to the sea and pulled her ashore. I anxiously put my hand up Lyra's nose. Then I breathed a sigh of relief because she was still alive. But her condition doesn't seem to be doing very well at the moment. I rekindled the fire to warm her body. The whole outfit on her is wet right now. I wondered if I should help her change her clothes or not. But if she wears wet clothes, it is easy to get sick, so I defiantly took another outfit from her suitcase to change into. When I changed Lyra's outfit, I blushed at her flawless body. Because she was unconscious and her body was not fine, she could not eat wild berries like me. I had to think of a way to catch some seafood to cook her liquid food. Of course, I've never done this before, so considering the difficulty, it's no less than catching small animals in the forest. Only, I'm not doing this for myself right now, but for the girl I love, so I put the highest level of determination into it. God helps those who help themselves. I finally caught a small crab under the rock near the shore. However, after a few hours at sea, the outfit I borrowed from Lyra was wet. I realized I couldn't go into the sea wearing that for long. I think for a moment and remember, didn't Lyra bring a bikini? Up to this point, I have nothing to be afraid of. Lyra hasn't regained consciousness yet, maybe she won't see this embarrassing act of mine. I preliminarily processed the crab I had just caught, filleting, processed a little into liquid food and then fed it slowly to Lyra. Although she still hasn't woken up, her face has become a little brighter, so I feel more relaxed. At this time, I temporarily took off all my clothes and took out the bikini in Lyra's suitcase. This is a very simple pastel pink bikini set. Although it was enough for a man like me to borrow a bikini bottom, I still couldn't help but be curious and put on the bikini top as well. Thanks to the bikini, I moved more comfortably in the water. After a few hours of trying, I also caught a few fish, although very small and few, but it was beyond my expectations. I don't mind eating wild fruit, but I can't let Lyra eat them like me, and these fish can help us through a few meals. I went ashore and changed my male outfit. Although I am very attached to Lyra's female outfit, if Lyra woke up now and saw me in her outfit, I would be so embarrassed to death. All that night, Lyra hadn't woken up yet, so I had to watch her all night. In the middle of the night, I saw a tear rolling lightly over Lyra's eyelids. She even said in her dream, "Miles, don't die. My little life is not worth it. It's okay to die, but you don't die, your family will be sad." I felt emotional, couldn't help but hug her in my arms. Unexpectedly, she valued the life of a guy she didn't love more than her own. Even though she was unconscious, she was more worried about me than she was about herself. I told myself to try to take care of Lyra as best I could. I want her to wake up to tell her I love her. Whatever her answer is, I don't care. Even though I spent a tiring night staying awake, I still resisted sleep to watch over Lyra. At midday the next day, Lyra finally opened her eyes. This makes me so excited. As soon as she opened her eyes, she saw that I was looking at her. She asked vaguely, "Miles? You're alive? Where am I?" I smiled softly at her. "I'm alive, so are you. I'm so glad you're alive and with me now. We are on a deserted island and sadly I have no way of getting you back." Lyra is still not sober, so she replied me, "Oh. Thank you for taking care of me. I owe you." Right now, I don't care how she feels about me. I quickly hugged her tightly. No, I am the one who owes you. My life was saved by you. I realize the value of life is because of you. Don't ever say you owe me. Lyra was also surprised by my move, but she didn't resist. I'm not on my own to assume she accepted me, maybe because she didn't have the strength to get away from me. But just like that, maybe it's been very satisfying for me. I don't need her to accept me, I just want to take care of her, at least until she can take care of herself. To be continued. Today's story would like to stop here. Thank you for watching. Please like and share for people with similar interests to motivate me to develop my channel. Goodbye and see you in another story.